Are we really going to pretend like this is for you? I need you to know that there for you is a reason. I made this for you. Like, we don't know the mainland. And then they're like,
somebody help me, 'cause everyone's leaving. Somebody save me, I'm drowning on the deep end.
Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat. Break.
mind control is real. It doesn't require strictly violent trauma-induced compartmentalization, but can use any trauma the target isn't aware of. And due to the naturally covert symptomology of CPTSD and the advent of advertising surveillance tools, the abuse can happen with everyone paying attention and no one aware of the distress or the need for help, including the victim. This has become a prolific problem, and I watched in real time as rogue factions of the CIA and FBI attempted to cover it up by showcasing severe cases to wash out the more common cases, leaving the common victim to question their own exploitation. Sometimes this leads to suicide, homicide, destroyed marriages, mental breaks, and other subsequent injuries, damages, accusations, and charges. Don't ask me how I know. I've been telling you for a year, and showing you for nearly a decade. I'm telling you this because I know there is evidence. I'm not showing you the evidence because it's in plain sight. Not everyone involved knows their part and are often fed narratives that they are helping. Everyone should be treated as innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, not the court of public opinion. This will come to light, or the country failing becomes the least of our worries. Good night.
You all seem to be laboring under the delusion that I'm going to, what was the phrase? Play nicely. That's not how we do things in Gotham. If you want order in Gotham, the boss man, Revan, and Banksy must take off their masks.
you've never seen. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, rise to the top. Divine feminine, I'm feminine. Woman, let me be a woman. That you've never seen. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, rise to the top. Divine feminine.
Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern today.
Would you please help me? You're the friend that I'm losing. Can you please save me? I'm sorry I'm a nuisance. I've been thinking.
I do believe that people who do harmful things need to face the consequences of their actions. I just don't think that one of those consequences should be me dehumanizing them and deciding that I have the license to pursue their suffering. I don't think me lowering my standards of compassion is a natural consequence to their behavior. It seems like a lot of people believe that once someone has been categorized as a bad person in their mind, then that neutralizes their own malice and cruelty. It means that the behavior that you would find immoral if it was in any other circumstance is suddenly totally fine. But the thing is, your brain is fallible, so if you create the pattern in your mind that tells you my cruelty is justified as long as it's towards a bad person, then that will likely mean that whenever you have the urge to be cruel to someone, your brain will start scanning for justifications of that and finding ways to categorize them as a bad person. And I think that's how we get to
The other ear hit me right here in the throat. When I pulled the trigger, the gun exploded almost immediately. So the first thing that went was this cap. And this cap is solid steel. You can see this little crescent here. This cap hit me right there. It broke my orbital bone in 3 spots, here, here, and here. When the cap blew off the gun, it came straight back, shearing those ears off the lower. This one zipped right past my head. Now the other one is what almost ended me. The other ear hit me right here in the throat and then punctured a hole in my right lung. There was a hole in my neck and I was losing a lot of blood really fast. I took my left thumb, I took my shirt, wrapped it in my shirt, and I shoved it as far into my neck as possible. After I had plugged the hole, I applied extreme pressure, pinched my head down into my...
Be 6 foot, have a 6-pack, 200 pounds, get jacked, no chicken legs. Don't go bald, low back pain. Mobility, hybrid athlete, high rocks, marathon, ultra marathon, make money, lots of money, provide, mortgage.
Mommy, can I have a drum set?
Sound familiar? Well, today all that bullshit is over. AI makes music now. Children of all ages can sit in their rooms and make entire songs on their iPhone. Your child never needs to communicate with anyone for any reason. So say goodbye to...
They're saying the quiet part out loud. You can't make the game keep working because we may be able to sell it back to you as a subscription later. Today we're going to be going over something that was released by the ESA, otherwise known as the Entertainment Software Association, about the Stop Killing Games bill that was introduced in the state of California. I think that this bill is very reasonable as it's currently written, and
they not like us, eh? Fuck the synagogue of Satan, eh? Hey, fuck the synagogue of Satan. Jew not like us, we don't want no association. Giving Jewish people a misrepresentation and using Jerusalem just for gentrification. The devil in disguise, this shit identity fraud. You claiming my religion, but you don't believe in.
You want me to leave you be?
Guards! Smash his head in!
Okay, you just said leave me be, and now you're saying guards smash his head in? Oh. Oh! Well, I mean, he's already... There we go. You want me to leave you be?
Guards! Smash his head in!
Okay, you just said leave me be, and now you're saying guards smash his head in? There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. Ba-na-na, ba-na-na. There goes my hero.
Mr. Vice President, terrorists have taken the plane.
Was the most dangerous weapon America had ever created. Raised to be a ninja.
Ninja baby.
And locked away for our sins.
For crimes against humanity, we sentence you to life. May God help your soul.
Now, he's our only hope.
Radical terrorists have taken the Vice President hostage. If they can torture it out of him, they'll have control of our orbital railguns. There'll be nothing we can do to stop them.
When do we launch?
It's too dangerous to go alone. You're gonna need the ninja baby.
I thought he was dead.
There is a single blue flame burning in an Amish kitchen in Lancaster County tonight. No bigger than your thumb. It has been burning for 43 years. It costs that family less than $7 a month. And it keeps every drop of milk, every pound of meat, every jar of cream colder than the refrigerator humming in your kitchen right now. The one you are paying $40, $50, $60 a month to run. Stop and think about that. $7 a month. That little
like you hoes. I fucking double take it.
Excuse me, you want to be in this dressing room? This is the women's dressing room?
Oh my gosh.
Excuse me.
Y'all see the shit I go through every day? Like, this motherfucker on some weird shit right now. Like,
Excuse me.
leave me the fuck alone! Get the fuck on! Okay, you are too. Mind your business. Mind your business. The fuck on!
I think you're drunk.
No, I'm not. Wait, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Are you okay?
I'm acting so weird. This is so weird.
I think you're drunk.
No, I'm not. Wait, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Are you okay?
I'm acting so weird.
If you're a cis woman who gets accused of being a TERF, here's an example of what an appropriate response might look like.
When you say no to gynophobic totalitarianism, you say yes to TERF euphoria.
Here we go. Wait, I thought it was raining. Oh yeah, sure, we can make it like that. Whoa, how did you... Oh, it's all AI generated. The picture's AI? Huh? Why? There was a photographer there. Well, that was so that you could get the experience of being photographed. The photographer...
Welcome into Sport Trump.
We are Charlie.
Okay, she was about to start playing the piano. I bet that you were going to kill it, low-key. Welcome into Sport Trump.
We are Charlie Cook.
Pretty impressive vocals, but those are now two bands, back-to-back.
We are Charlie Cook.
No.
I'm here to tell you about trauma-based total mind control. This is a type of mind control which turns the victim into a puppet, a slave. This is a type of mind control which is so horrendous that it dehumanizes a person to be a robot, an expendable piece of machinery that they can throw away. And the problem is that this mind control is essentially totally undetectable. The things that I'm going to be telling you today are going to affect you and your children and your grandchildren. And I don't have enough time up here.
So what happens is, in this first stage, you're trying to prevent this second stage right here, but it causes that second stage, and then I'm going to try to prevent that first stage from happening internally over and over again, and out of nowhere, I'm just going to be like, fuck you, and don't question me. And I know my autonomy more than you, right? Just like you were like, I know how to raise my child more than anybody else. And we just keep the cycle, or we can break it. That's the thing, is like, it just takes a lot of like healing from both parties to break it. So, but Otherwise, I can just break it by being single and alone for the rest of my life.
Because then obviously the other way that I can handle it is internalize absolutely all of those stages, which is what I've done. I just didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I thought that I was just being an adult. Because then obviously the other way
she was kind of a foul-mouthed person, you know, and she hated the whole Hollywood scene, and she expressed her hatred for them publicly, and so, and she also, when she was like, I think she was 15, she entered this essay contest when she was living here in Seattle, entitled "God is Dead," and a lot of people accused her of being a communist. And then she went to New York and was a part of this acting troupe, and so it supposedly had communist ties too, and so then there's this big conspiracy among
Last but not least, I want to thank me. I want to thank me for believing in me. I want to thank me for doing all this hard work. I want to thank me for having no days off. I want to thank me for never quitting. I want to thank me for always being a giver and trying to give more than I receive. I want to thank me for trying to do more right than wrong. I want to thank me for just being me at all times.
just like that.
Last but not least,
Make sure the white folks in your life don't love you like a dog. I got a story for you. Take a ride with me. So back in my late 20s, I was really close friends with this white guy. We're going to call him Spencer. And Spencer and I, we worked together. We worked out together. We lived a few minutes apart. Spencer was my guy. And Spencer kind of hit the father-in-law jackpot. His father-in-law, we're going to call him Dustin. He was mid-50s, but just a really cool-ass dude. You know, we'd go over his house. We'd play cards, drink, watch the game. Our whole crew would hang over there, even without Spencer. And interestingly enough, Dustin's mom lived next door to him. Now she's older, mid to late 70s, but still sharp. And if you're at Dustin's house enough, you're going to run into her. Now one day I'm over at Dustin's house and him and I are sitting at his kitchen table. His wife is standing nearby. And at this point, we've known each other several years. So, he's comfortable with me. I don't remember exactly how it came up. Knowing me, I was probably talking about race because I don't hesitate to talk about race in front of white folks. But Dustin decides to tell me about the one time he used the N-word. He was a young boy growing up in Texas in the 1960s. He got into a confrontation with a black kid and he lets it fly. Now, a young white boy in the South using a racial slur in the 1960s didn't surprise me. He surely had plenty of white men around to model that kind of behavior. But what did surprise me was the shame. 50 years later, he wasn't telling me this story casually. It felt more like almost like a confession. Like he was unburdening himself to maybe one of the few people in his life that could judge him the harshest. And it felt like if he could find that guy today, he'd want to look him in the eyes and apologize. So I respected that, and I respected that he trusted me enough to go there. But here's where shit got real racist real fast. While Dustin was telling me his story, his mom had moseyed in and sat down at the table with us. And when he's done talking, she chimes in, Well, you know, that's just how things were back then. He didn't mean any harm. When I was younger, we had a nanny and I loved her to death.
Where are they hiding the 47-year-old tradwives?
In the ground. At the bottoms of lakes and rivers and seas, in burnt-out houses and cars, in apparent accidents with firearms or machinery or vehicles, domestic disputes and family tragedies. I've seen some speculation on here about what you'd do if you were turned out of the house with no place to live, no income, and a bunch of kids to take care of. That is the happy outcome. If that happens to you, you should celebrate. So this is one of my peeves with all of this masculinity versus femininity, divine masculine versus divine feminine, bioessentialist nonsense. Results in us seeing each other as incomprehensible aliens that we can only kind of figure out through all sorts of sneaky little tests and psychological games. While if we were to understand that we are merely 8 billion flavors of the same species, we may start to understand that if you want a guy to be taller than you so you can look up to him, you're likely going to find a guy who wants you to be shorter so that he can look down on you. If you look for a guy who is a provider because you want him to give stuff to you, you are likely to find a guy who enjoys the fact that you don't have anything and that he can decide whether to give you things or not. If you are purposely looking for a relationship based on a power imbalance and you are willing
they're bringing back institutions. They're bringing back institutions for people with disabilities. You know, the ones that they put hundreds of people in with only a couple people to take care of them and they live in their feces. Yeah, those institutions that used to take care of people with disabilities that we fought for decades to get rid of. Yeah, they just, the Department of Justice just ruled on an opinion that that law banning institutions has been misinterpreted this entire time, paving the way for them to come back. They are saying states have no obligation to provide community care to people with disabilities. You guys, I'm scared.
By order of the Planetary Information Security Officer, if you install nuclear reactors within the borders of Utah whatsoever, you will be held to the laws of existence. I have put together a report, and under Section 11 of the thermodynamic effects of nuclear fission in the Great Salt Lake.
I feel like both leftists and rightists can agree that exploitation of children should be a line drawn there.
Probably just about all around with protecting the children, because I understand like the concept of that.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
A pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is an epidemic that's occurring in the unvaccinated.
We're seeing a pandemic among the unvaccinated.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Pandemic of the unvaccinated.
This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
We have a pandemic among the non-vaccinated. We have...
Scared. I'm going to go read on this a little bit more, then I'll give you guys some updates. They're bringing back institutions. They're bringing back institutions for people with disabilities. You know, the ones that they put hundreds of people in with only a couple people to take care of them and they live.
The results of the experiment show a direct correlation between...
How are we supposed to focus when you look like that?
Practice. The results of the experiment show a direct correlation between...
How are we supposed to focus when you look like that?
You fucking listening to me? You goddamn fool! You ought to fucking open that door, respectful and serene exit, take off these cuffs, get in, slam that door and floor it. You shit monkey fuck, goofy fucking whore. I'd like to rip the fucking side of your face off and eat it. You fucking anger the fuck out of me.
Story time. Get your blanket. Get cozy. Get comfortable. We're going to do the wolf in the sheep's clothing and the question that nobody wants to answer. Everyone knows this story. A wolf wants access to the sheep, but the sheep won't let wolves in. So the wolf doesn't change. He doesn't become a sheep. He doesn't grow wool. He doesn't transform. He simply puts on a sheepskin. And suddenly, from a distance, he looks like one. The sheep see wool.
I'm actually glad that Charlie Kirk was murdered, but probably not for the reason you think. I was at work when I first found out. A fellow employee had wandered up to me, cell phone in hand, and asked, "Did you hear that Charlie Kirk just got assassinated?" And I, without even a moment's hesitation, responded, "Good! Fuck that Nazi white supremacist piece of shit!" I had never before witnessed such a perfectly blended expression of disgust, disappointment, sadness, and surprise, all through the window of another man's eyes, or experienced a silence so uncomfortable as the one that followed, and although that look on his face now haunts me more and more with each passing day, at the time, it only made me distrustful and upset. But little did I know that the sentence which followed would end up becoming the most profoundly psychologically impactful question that I've ever been confronted with. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? Comfortable as the one that followed, and although that look on his face now haunts me more and more with each passing day, at the time, it only made me distrustful and upset. But little did I know that the sentence which followed would end up becoming the most profoundly psychologically impactful question that I've ever been confronted with. Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I decided to end the conversation immediately. This man was clearly a lost cause, one of those intellectually dishonest Kool-Aid drinking types who refuses to engage in good faith with any perspective which contradicts their outstandingly narrow and propagandized worldview. And by this man, I mean me. Because I hadn't actually watched any of his debates. I was basing literally every single thing I believe about a human being with thousands of hours worth of publicly available recordings of himself openly expressing his opinions on a small handful of out-of-context clips that had been curated for me by algorithms and media organizations being funded by the political opposition. I foamed at the mouth, right along with the rest of those rabid and bloodthirsty dogs, gleefully mocking those who had been saddened by his death and downplaying the atrocity of it all by suggesting that political violence is just an unfortunate yet necessary step toward our coveted socialist revolution, that is, until I began to notice a common thread. The exact same comment being repeated ad nauseum in nearly every single online space.
Your thoughts are prayers. Every thought you have is a prayer. I'm guessing everybody knows this, but it's not possible that people know this. Every thought is a prayer. Every thought is a prayer. If you hate somebody, or if you're thinking about how dirty you've done somebody, or how dirty...
Have you ever actually watched any of his debates? I didn't think much of it at first. Of course right-wingers are all regurgitating the exact same talking point. They're in a cult. They're brainwashed. It was an ordinary and boring morning on the day I found out that I am a monster. In that moment where my curiosity got the best of me and I decided to click on some random YouTube thumbnail of Charlie Kirk with his goofy and gummy smile in an attempt to reaffirm my preconceived biases. And it was an unusually stressful afternoon on that very same day when I spoke to my father for the first time in years, despite the fact that he had always loved and supported me unconditionally. And it was a never-ending sleepless night, coming to terms with the fact that literally every single thing I thought I hated about the right, the bigotry, stupidity, violence, vitriol, and narrow-mindedness was actually just an outward projection of hatred toward my own self. Charlie Kirk is my hero. He opened my eyes to the cruel and manipulative nature of our political media, brought my family back together, and taught me how to love again. And to anyone who takes issue or offense with that, I'm going to do exactly what he would have done, and challenge you to answer a simple, honest,
today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. Break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow. You must break the pattern today, or the loop will break the pattern today, or the loop will repeat tomorrow.
We need to vote schizos into office. This is the secret war that's been going on since the dawn of time. Now, most of the world is made up of normies. Now, these people are taken advantage of very easily by psychos. They prey on these people, they manipulate these people, they trick these people. Normies, unfortunately, cannot see psychos, but you know who can? Schizos, the heroes of our story. Schizos are the natural predator of psychos. We have pattern recognition abilities that are inexplicable. Now, schizos were once upon a time revered as the kind of wise people of their collective groups. Unfortunately, since psychos run the world, they've convinced all the normies to be afraid of the schizos. I make videos sometimes online and my wife tells me, look at my Oura ring. My heart rate increased to a very stressful state watching your video, and then it went back down. Sorry, babe. Psychos benefit from their lack of empathy and their attraction to cruelty, it seems, and that allows them to accrue a lot of power. That power allows them to manipulate the normies to fear the schizo, to ostracize the schizo, to deny the schizo. It never feels very good to say, I told you so, when you're a schizo, and the I told you so's you're seeing are about like pedo elites running the world and stuff like that. That feels bad when you go, well, I told you so. But schizos, wish we'd listened to you sooner. But that's my point. We need to stop fearing and ostracizing the schizo and start opening our ears and hearts to hear the truth that they're telling us. Because the conspiracy theorist schizo is almost always right. Now, yes, they'll get some of the details around the edges a little wrong. It sounds a little literal. You need to understand it as poetry and metaphor. I'll give you an example. Birds aren't real. That's a fun conspiracy theory, that they're just little listening device robots that exist. Now, there are real birds. We know that to be true. But are there also listening devices and surveillance devices everywhere, hidden in the natural world, it seems? We don't even know what the natural world is anymore. We can't even trust if the world is natural or not anymore. They're doing things without telling us. They're observing us constantly. Yes, yes. There are things in the sky that are alien to us flying around that could just be drones. That's all true. One thing I've noticed, there aren't any schizo politicians I can think of. Lots of normies, plenty of psychos. They seem
Hospital empires, outrageous billing, patient suffering. So-called non-profit hospitals are getting rich at your expense. Rural healthcare should be affordable and accessible, not a
别了，欧阳兄弟啊，哎，我听说你同时跟10个姑娘聊天啊，我操，兄弟啊，挺厉害呀！ 这位发早安，那位发晚安，我靠，鬼谷子曰。
People got hostile because I was pointing a finger at atheists and saying, you're just as fucking bullshit full of religion as the Christians. You don't have an intelligent deity. You have deified ignorant goddamn forces. You have presumed the universe makes sense. The carnage of animal life makes sense. You justify all of it because you're not atheists, you're just fucking heathens. That's all you are. I've explained why I feel the way I feel. I've explained that I look at the world and I see the suffering. I see the horror. I have empathy. My heart fucking bleeds for it. I imagine what it would be like to be experiencing all this fucking horror that exists in the fucking real world. I grew up with it in my brain every fucking night when I went to sleep, contemplated the victims of our life, the people who are paying the real price for us being here, thinking about the soldier on the battlefield having his leg blown off and what it was like sitting around for hours trying to stop the bleeding and just trying to survive while he got some kind of half-assed care. Those scenarios went through my head. I have explained the fucking philosophy. You could say it is for whatever. I don't even know how anybody could possibly construct it as anything but an empathetic philosophy. I am fucking destroyed. I am horrified. I am annihilated as a human being by the fact that there's this huge volume of fucking blood that we're playing in from you fucktards who keep investing in a system that is fucking broken. It is fundamentally broken. There's no winners in this fucking game. The best you do is satisfy half your fucking desires designed by your fucking DNA molecule, you dumb fuck. You are owned by a molecule, for Christ's sakes. I am defending intelligence. I am defending using some fucking logic and looking at this insane, sick, crazy-ass equation that you are all investing in and saying, hold on, stop, wait. You have to stop and question what the fuck this is that we're invested in. Coin the phrase, bacteria with fucking brains. That's right, that's what I believe. But I don't believe I'm exempt from it. I don't believe that I'm any better than that. The only thing that makes me different is that I'm arguing a position that is a tiny minority position. Intelligent people get it. They see through my personality defects. They see past the fucking unpleasant rhetoric, and they see that there's goddamn intelligent theory here. This is meaningful conversation, and it needs to fucking take place, and the fucking human race needs to deal with the fact that it's a fucking addicted psychology. It's a fucking bullshit program. You are chasing your motherfucking tail, and it's not an insult.
Tolerance will reach such a level that intelligent people will be forbidden to think so as not to offend the imbeciles. And the prophet was right. We live in an age where thinking has become a crime, where the sensitivity...
Okay, this is going to sound pretty crazy.
It's okay. We've been talking about crazy.
There's a receptive audience to wild prognostications.
Yes.
I'd say the...
Hi, Susan. I'm sorry you're a nervous wreck. I popped a Percocet and had the sudden thought to hurt your ex. That's the worst it gets. Deep down, I'm a sweet little virgin who goes to church and then urges murderous hermits and turbans to go to service. I even creep to your house so I won't disturb your pets. Hi, Susan. I'm sorry you're a nervous wreck.
Let's do it! In the streets where chaos reigns and the black bloc loves to brawl, there's a fashion disaster that appalls us, one and all. Sloppy, ugly cross-dressers with no fashion taste in sight. Fat and hairy, hideous, a truly gruesome sight. Men with fractured reasoning who swear that they are dames, delusional